What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, I bet you knew this video was coming, wasn't it? Recently, Derrick Rose got waived from the Memphis Grizzlies and ultimately he's left at this point in time without a team. Now, unless this video comes out and Derrick Rose has joined a new team, today's video is going to be about whether or not the Chicago Bulls should finally pull the trigger and bring Derrick Rose back home. Now, at the end of the day, it really comes down to your opinion about whether or not you would like Derrick Rose here on the team. Nonetheless, he is an important figure in Chicago Bulls history. He's one of the most inspirational players I think many people could think of in terms of the NBA, and I think it's worth a conversation. I think it will be worth a conversation every year until either he retires or eventually he does join the Bulls. One of the two things are going to have to happen, ladies and gentlemen. So let's figure it out in this video. But before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about whether or not you would like to see Derrick Rose in this current Chicago Bulls team. Now, there are positives and negatives to both sides. At the end of the day, there will always be a positive and a negative side when it comes to bringing Derrick Rose back. I guess the first thing I want to say is, just because I'm making this video does not mean that the Chicago Bulls are even considering bringing Derrick Rose back. Look, I'm a fan. There are about millions of Chicago Bulls fans across the world. Some of them do have the heart of nostalgia. They love the nostalgia. They love the feelings that they see when they see Derrick Rose in a Bulls uniform. They would love to see him wear the number one again and try to represent his city for his last run in the NBA, whatever the case may be. Maybe it's even a mini farewell tour for Derrick Rose. I don't necessarily know. Regardless of how you may feel, there will be fans that will always think that's a good idea. But they are not the general managers. They are not Mark Eversley. They are not Torres Carnicervis. They're not Billy Donovan. They're not the Reinsdorfs. They're not any of them. So just because fans may feel this way, some of them at least, others will feel differently. So it will divide opinion. Even if you like Derrick Rose, I still feel like there are some people that will be hesitant towards bringing him back. But we need to talk about what the positives are to bringing him back as well. Obviously, the fact that he is a Chicago Bulls legend, youngest MVP, I think that's all positives towards bringing him back. I think fans will absolutely love and will always be chanting for Derrick Rose. I think you're going to see the attendance and just the overall atmosphere of the crowd skyrocket if Derrick Rose comes back next season. Obviously, if you're a Bulls owner, like the Reinsdorfs are, they're going to be thinking a lot about jersey sales and stuff of that nature, and I think they'll make a lot of money in that department. That could be an avenue that you think when it comes to a positive towards bringing Derrick Rose back. He is a veteran, and I've talked about the importance of veterans in such a young group. And look, Derrick Rose literally went to the Memphis Grizzlies to be a veteran, to be a guy that can help the young guys. And ultimately, he has shown, even with the Knicks, I think before that, he is always willing to help these young guys develop. Maybe the Bulls need a little bit of that veteran experience to boost the young guys like Kobe and Io. And again, we got a lot of Chicago talent in this team. Derrick Rose would be another one, by the way. But ultimately, if you bring Derrick Rose back, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be asking him for advice, asking him questions. And this is a chance for Derrick Rose to prove he has leadership qualities that go beyond just, showing it on the court. He's going to be answering and hopefully living up to that veteran name. So there are positives there for Derrick Rose. Not to mention he'll be on a cheap contract. And again, it could be the last hurrah for Derrick Rose on a Bulls team. But of course, with positives comes negatives. And here are some negatives, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, we are trying to fill a roster spot. And that might be seen as a positive, but if you bring Derrick Rose into this team, there is a chance you're going to see one of the players that we have signed recently, like a Taylor Horton-Tucker, a Kenny Lofton Jr., even guys that jobs are not necessarily safe, like Batim. Those guys' roles, those guys' contracts could be in serious jeopardy heading into the regular season. With Derrick Rose, if he was able to sign, that pretty much seals our team. Unless we waive somebody else or we, not make a contract permanent, we'll only be able to get one other guy in there if I'm not mistaken, according to how the roster is looking like at this point in time. In fact, if you keep Batim and you sign Derrick Rose, I think that's it. You're not going to get another roster spot with this Bulls team. So it's important, that last roster spot, and you need to make the best decision possible. It might be a nostalgic move. It might be the best move. But ultimately, if it's not the best move, should you even be considering bringing back Derrick Rose? That's a genuine question that we have to ask ourselves when it comes to that final roster spot. The second thing, we have way too many guards. Now, I think Derrick Rose could play over a guy like Javon Carter per se, but it doesn't necessarily matter what I think and what I feel. The fact of the matter is, if we sign Derrick Rose, we are still signing another point guard. We are still signing another guard. So unless you maybe trade another guard off, maybe you waive another guard, maybe you do whatever you need to do to get rid of a guard, that's the only positive I could see to bringing Derrick Rose in there, because there's just way too many guards. And look, if Derrick Rose is going to be here, I want him to play. I know in probably most other teams at this point in time, he probably won't play. Again, he barely played for Memphis. In his last couple seasons for the Knicks, he didn't really play. He may not have much to offer in terms of playing on the court, but it's just the way that I feel. I'd want him to play if he's going to have his last hurrah here. And ultimately, with all the guards that are put in front of him at the moment, even guys like Lonzo Ball, the genuine question is, will he even play here if he does sign on here? You know, the fans may be up for it, but how many times are you going to see the fans chant, "We want Derrick Rose," and ultimately probably never get a chance to see him? That's a genuine question we need to ask ourselves. The third thing is, do you really want a player that could be on the verge of retirement? Look, I think in terms of respect, there are many, many, many sports out there in the world that don't show much respect to their legends the way that the NBA does it. I think the NBA shows tremendous respect to their legends. And I think the legends show tremendous respect to the teams that they played for. Guys like Kobe, guys like Dirk, guys like MJ. Even if you're looking at Bulls legends per se, guys like Joakim Noah and Luol Deng both signed 10-day contracts just so they could retire as a Chicago Bull. There's a lot of respect that goes around in the NBA. In other sports, it's not necessarily like that. Sometimes it is. Most of the time, there's no loyalty left in the NBA. And if you're from a Bulls perspective, there might be some loyalty there to Derrick Rose. I would like to think that there is. But ultimately, if you're AK and Mark Eversley and you're looking at Derrick Rose, you have to consider the fact that he doesn't have much time left in the NBA. Do you want to pursue a player like that knowing that you don't have much time with him and his time in the NBA is borrowed time? You know, it's expected to end relatively soon, in the next couple of years or so. It's a genuine question to ask. But ultimately, what do I think about bringing back Derrick Rose? Man, I'm a sucker for nostalgia, aren't I? But again, I feel two ways about this. The first way is that we've got nothing left to lose. We're already going to be a bad team next season. I don't think adding Derrick Rose in there is going to make us tremendously better, but I ultimately don't think it's going to make us any worse. And at the end of the day, if we're trying to lose, why not bring some entertainment along the way and bring Derrick Rose back to his home city, where he could help the young guys, even if it's not necessarily in a winning season? The second way I feel about this is I think the way many Bulls fans probably feel as well. I want to see Derrick Rose win a championship. He's not going to win a championship with the Bulls, is he? So I'd like to see him go join a team like Boston, maybe go join a team like the Nuggets, maybe go join a team like, I don't know, any contending team. Maybe a Philly, if Philly's going to be contending this year. Who knows what's going to happen to Philly? But again, that's what I'd rather see in terms of Derrick Rose situation. If there's a contending team out there, I'd rather him go there, win his championship there, if possible, then come to the Bulls and have your last hurrah. But if that's not on the table for Derrick Rose, I would love to see him back, just for old time's sake. I'd love to see the number one return. I'd love to see the fans go crazy for him. You know, it's very similar to how I'd feel if Jimmy Butler wanted to come back for the last hurrah. Most Bulls fans would definitely be on board with that. And again, we're already going to be a bad team, so I don't necessarily see much to lose there. But again, we also have one contract spot left. Is it worth putting nostalgia in that place? Maybe it is for some. For others, probably not. We'll wait and see what ends up happening with Derrick Rose. Again, by the time I make this video, there's a chance he could have joined a new team already. It is what it is. But thank you guys for watching. Drop a like and a follow and or subscribe if you are new. I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.